In the most recent beta update, a complete overhaul was done of the talent Burning Wound, changing it completely from how it was as Legendary in Shadowlands. This new change brings with it new gameplay with this talent. However, it has some benefits and some issues over the old form, and today we're going to talk about them. Before we get on to the video, I just want to jump in and say that a lot of my viewers aren't subscribed. So if you're watching this, you see my videos a lot and you're not subscribed, or if you enjoy the content, please consider hitting the subscribe button. You know, we're just pushing up past 600 subs now, trying to get as high as we can. I'll be doing a giveaway for subscribers closer to when Dragonflight launches. The more subs we have, the bigger the giveaway is. But once again, I just want to thank everybody for all the support and all the feedback on the videos and everything. It really means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it. So with that, please enjoy the video. So Burning Wound, right? Now, for those of you who didn't play during Shadowlands, and especially who didn't play prior to double legendaries in 9.2 and 9.2.5, and I guess prior to the slight Venthyr buff that happened in 9.1.5, Burning Wound might not be that familiar to you. So basically in 9.1, it was our legendary that we used. When you were Night Fae, you'd spread it around and do pretty good damage. So that legendary red, I have it right here. So Demon's Bite or, oh man, off the top of my head, I don't even know it. Demon's Bite or Demon Blades, there we go. Demon Hunter mains, right? Demon's Bite or Demon's Blades leave an open wound on your enemy, which deals however much chaos damage over 15 seconds and increases damage taken from your Immolation Aura by 65%. Basically what you would do is you'd have this cloak on, you would go into combat, right? You'd go in, and you would tab target around, and you would spread this Immolation Aura around, and it would cause Immolation Aura to do really big damage. We also had the Conduit version of Growing Inferno, so every single tick of Immolation Aura just kind of amp that damage even more. So it's sort of like the playstyle leads into Ragefire today, right? So you'd just be tabbing your Burning Wound around in AoE, and then Growing Inferno and Immolation Aura would do big damage. So the issue with that legendary, besides the fact that Shadowlands legendaries were a fairly flawed system, but I'm going to have a video in the future talking about that. So Burning Wound, the issue with it is that a lot of people didn't enjoy the tab targeting dot maintenance aspect of it, which, you know, funny enough, that also happened in Venthyr, right? Just dot maintenance. But pretty much people just didn't enjoy having to, you know, be in combat. Oh, okay, I applied my dot, I tapped another one, I applied my dot, tapped to another one, get my dot on them, okay, good. I mean, oh, there's another target I gotta go tab onto. And they didn't like having to tab onto multiple targets over and over and over again. So that was a big thing, right? Oh, we're crashing. And we crashed again. Sorry, the beta's been really wonky today. It's been really unstable. Anyway, so people didn't enjoy having to tab around and keep track of all these dots. In my opinion, it wasn't too bad, but I can't understand how people didn't like it, right? And where it was on the tree before, it was just super strong. It was leading to Ragefire, and it had kind of the same issue as Momentum did, where it was kind of just too powerful and in too good of a place on the tree. So they changed it. So the new Burning Wound actually, I think, makes a lot of sense for where it is. So the new one, oh, are we crashing again? Okay, we're just Crash City today on the beta. I don't know what they did. This is like my third crash in the last 10 minutes, maybe. But we'll keep going. So the new one, the new Burning Wound, assuming we can get back in here, I won't move. We'll just tell you what the Throglaive new Burning Wound does. The new one now, whenever you throw your glaive out, it applies the dot. So the damage has been reduced, so it's 2,000 chaos damage instead of the 3,000 that my legendary said. Over 15 seconds, it increases damage taken from Immo Aura by 45% as opposed to 65%. Now, that in itself is fine. You know, it's not a capstone anymore. It's not a Shadowlands legendary. There is less cost associated to being able to use this ability, so the nerfs make sense. The fact that Throglaive applies it now too also works really well with down here in this part of the tree with Fellbomb and with Soul Rend. So it kind of makes sense just to kind of unify this part of the tree over here. The issue, I think, comes in that it may be applied to up to 3 targets. So effectively now, this does rein in the power quite a bit, right? Because beforehand you could have Burning Wound up to, I believe it was 6 or 7 targets before it started to fall off, just due to dot running out. We'll see if I can make it into Orgrimmar here. Alright, I made it. So back to target dummies. So beforehand you could have them on up to 6 or 7 targets. Might have been 5. I'm not 100% sure on that, but you could have it on multiple targets, right? And because of this, it had really strong impact on AoE. Immolation Aura got really big. But people also didn't like it because of this tab targeting, applying the dot stuff that I mentioned. So this new version aims to kind of fix that. Oh, man. Okay. Give me a second. I'll be right back. We're going to try and get this resolved before I keep talking. Alright, so I'm back. I've given up trying Orgrimmar. We've now gone to Zuldazar, and it seems to be much better. So what I was talking about is that Burning Wound changed from the tab targeting thing people didn't like to being applied with Throglaive, and they put a cap on it, a cap of 3 targets. Now Throglaive bounces to, I believe, 3 targets whenever you throw one application. It could be more, actually. Yeah, it bounces to 3. So pretty much, whoever you hit with your Throglaive has the Burning Wound dot applied to them. So you can see here on these target frames, ignore the Shadow Priest who's just spamming that stuff. You can see they all have Burning Wound on them. They're taking Chaos damage, and they are taking increased damage from Immolation Aura. Now that's fine. Throglaive looks to be part of a big part of our AOE rotation, right? Because of Fell Bomb and because of Soul Rend. Pretty much you just could throw out a bunch of glaives that do a lot of damage that all leave a big dot on them. So application with Throglaive makes a lot of sense, just with how we're using it. As well, it makes a lot of sense with just this part of the tree. It's kind of unifying the Throglaive and Immolation Aura parts that are found on the right side. However, what my big issue with this new talent is, so I think overall it is a net positive for the rework, because of the fact that you don't have to do that annoying tab targeting thing that a lot of people didn't like. My big issue with it is the 3 target cap. So this wouldn't be too big of a deal if it wasn't tied to Throglaive, right? So if it was still tied to Demon Blades, then you'd be able to choose what has your things on it, right? I could do like this, apply it to this target, and then I could swap to this target, and maybe this one back here is like pretty useless or is dying soon, then I can just apply to this one instead. However, with this one, pretty much you just get to choose which primary target gets it, right? Which is fine. But if there's multiple primary targets in a pack, that you want this damage buff on, things that will live a longer time, then you can't control that, right? So if let's say I'll mark a few of these. Let's say I want square, triangle, and diamond to be marked. And let's say that the other one who isn't marked is dying very fast, right? So I'll throw it at square because he's our biggest target. Throw my glaive, and I got unlucky, right? We see that triangle and square got marked, which is great. That's what I wanted. But the unmarked one also got hit, and it's now dead. And I didn't get any benefit from Burning Wounds. Now, the cooldown of Throglaive is short enough that this isn't too big of a deal, and you should be doing it often enough, especially with Fell Bomb. But the fact that it is able to not be controlled where you apply it, I think is one big downfall of this new system. Especially since this is like a small target count, right? So if I throw it here, I have a pretty good chance of getting what I want, because there's only one target I don't want it on, and there's 4 targets. But in a bigger pull, right, pretty much you only get to guarantee it's applied to one of the targets that you care about. Now again, not the biggest deal, because Throglaive's cooldown is short enough, and you're going to be using it often enough, especially with Fell Bomb and Soul Rend, that you're going to want to push it fairly often in AoE. I just think that being able to maybe more control where it was applied would be better. I don't really have an idea of this because of the fact that Throglaive itself in nature is just random, and aside from a third charge of Throglaive, which I don't think is that good of an idea, then I don't really think there's much of a way you can get around that with this current iteration. But despite that, I do like the new nature of Burning Wound. Yes, its power level is lower, but that is reasonable because of where it is on the tree, right? I just think that maybe having some more agency in applying it would be better. I don't know what they could do with that besides going back to an older version. So my suggestion, maybe up the cap a little bit, reduce the Immolation Aura buff. That would make it better in these AoE scenarios where you're going to be taking it. I doubt you take this in single target fights, right? Because of there's stronger stuff in other parts of the trees. But upping this cap would make it feel a little less bad about where your glaives are bouncing, and if you get RNG bad choices. But overall, super excited for this new talent. The way everything feeds into Ragefire now, and the way this kind of flows more naturally in your application, because you're using Fell Bomb and Soul Rend to throw out a bunch of glaives, makes it feel much cooler and much better in my opinion, and interacting with Throglaive is really cool. I like that they've put Throglaive back into the rotation. So those are my thoughts today on that new talent. I tried it out in a dungeon last night. The dungeon was kind of wild. I'll have that dungeon up on a video. I think it lasted... my tank friend got beta. I think the dungeon lasted us maybe 10 minutes. We just blasted through everything. It was kind of wild. But I'll have that up another day if you want to see Burning Wound in action. But yeah, that's my thoughts today. Let me know down below what you think of the new Burning Wound. Do you prefer the old version? Do you like this new version? Let me know what you think. Leave a like as well if you enjoyed it, and hit the subscribe button if you're not yet. I have a bunch more Demon Hunter and just general alpha content coming out over the next few weeks. I'll be dipping back into some other classes now that I'm kind of covering a lot of the Demon Hunter stuff that I've wanted to cover. My goal is to do Drag and Hunter stuff as well. So if you're interested in that, hit a sub and all that stuff. And I just appreciate everything, and I'll see you guys next time.